What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 136, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday. I'm Kevin McManus. With me, Nick Hassell.
Yep, just me.
We had Kellen for a little while, and then his stomach got upset from something.
I think he just died.
It looked like he might actually.
So this is in memoriam.
About 15 minutes into him saying he didn't feel so good, I was like, what's going to happen here? Anyway, we're still going to have a great show for you today. Lots of news to talk about. A little mini E3 going on this week.
Yeah, it all hit at once. Like I said, this time, like 2 weeks ago, Evo kind of feels like the fighting game Evo, or E3 now, because, you know, everyone just likes to do like their, thank you everyone for the great tournament. And then
here's
cut
a
to
new
a
character
video.
or whatever.
They took it to the extreme this year. So I hope that's like a trend, basically. I know it's gotten closer and closer to this each year, but it was like every single top game had something to talk about, so pretty cool.
We'll jump into Evo a little bit more later, but yeah, it was just a packed week, and of course Rockstar just being like, we have stuff to show, and then everybody else is like,
and then QuakeCon, and then all sorts of, so like
random
at no point during the week was it dry on news, so
yeah, every day something happened. With that said, we will start with some comments from last week. And I believe possibly the week before, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway. So we have a video. We have from Zach Yoder. We have good to see the video back, as we brought back the video, but I missed the Persona posters. That room is totally fine. It's still there. We're going to move back to it and or move it somewhere else. One of those two things will happen. Just haven't decided yet. This is obviously a temporary setup for the time being because it is way too hot up there. Moving on, he also says that he uses the theme Persona 5 Joker theme on his PlayStation 4.
Oh, okay.
I talked about last week what theme I was using. What theme do you use on your PlayStation?
The Goro Akechi Persona 5
so
theme.
I have the Ryuji one on mine, and on my Pro I have the Shadow of the Colossus theme.
I like having music. I like the Shadow of the Colossus one. Like, I like it, but it's like too ambient, and I just want some tunes playing, I guess.
See, that's the opposite. I like the ambience. I like that it sounds like my window's just open. Well, not particular. If this window's open, all you hear is and cars being all loud. But if I lived in, like, you know, a meadow, it sounds like my window's open. And I actually enjoy that. That being said, I do have the Ryuji one on my regular PlayStation 4. And then he also says, I also listen to Sacred Symbols. I'm glad to hear you do as well. Sacred Symbols, Colin Moriarty's PlayStation podcast that he just launched. I think they're on episode 6 or 7 at this time. And he says, what about Easy Allies? Do you follow them too? Do you follow Easy Allies at all?
No.
I watched them react to stuff because they are like the overreactor types, and I enjoy watching that, particularly for their E3s and their like directs and stuff. I like watching them react to things. I don't watch their podcasts though.
Gotcha.
I'm actually trying to gather more podcasts to listen to, so this is actually a good lead-in. If you have some good podcasts, particularly game opinion news podcasts, leave them down below, and I might get to them because I've been downloading podcasts. I've been listening to them as actual podcasts where, you know, audio only type situation, and it's a different world. It's slightly different. So if you have any, you know, good storytellers out there of the gaming worlds, let me know. I'd like to listen.
Just don't copy what they do.
Yeah, no plagiarism. That'd be very bad. Let's move into what we've been playing. Nick, what have you been playing?
So there's this little game called Octopath Traveler that I've never heard of it.
We've never talked about it on this channel.
120, 140 hours into, I think, at this point. I unofficially, just because there's not anything that tracks it in game, there's no like pause menu that's just like, here's all the things you've done, and just like a rundown, like a lot of JRPGs or just RPGs do in general. I unofficially 100%ed it.
Oh, wow.
I'm still going to do a couple things just because I want to screw around a little bit more, but all the dungeons, all the stories, all the side quests, the true ending, quote unquote, path, and I'm done.
Right.
So
you don't like the game very much. That's what I'm getting at.
I hated all 140 hours of it. I just couldn't stand it. But no, I will have a lot to say about this game as the year progresses, probably. It's just very... there's a lot of things to say about it, but I guess the thing I'm thinking right now is that it's like a comfort food kind of game.
Yeah.
It's very welcome because, like I said, a lot of games now are narrative driven. A lot of games are action driven. Like you have a lot of games that just do like one thing really well, and then that's why it gets 90s or high 80s and stuff like that. But this one does a lot of things well, and it's just like very comforting to play. For obviously hundreds of hours if you want to, but it was fell into a nice spot of the year. I don't think I could have started this. I won't say play. I just couldn't have started it if it was September when it came out, and October, November, January, February of next year. Like it had to come out when it did for me to be able to play it, and I hope because the next game sort of like it. Time-wise and JRPG-wise, whatever, is Dragon Quest, and I don't think that's like the start of the storm, I guess. That's right when all the big games hit, and I feel like that game is going to suffer for me because all this other stuff is going to be knocking at the door when I'm on hour 90.
I agree. My September, I think I talked about this, but I'm excited for games in September that other people aren't. And I'm like less excited about like Spider-Man. I don't think I need to play that at launch. I'm like,
what are you gonna miss? Kind of
right. Like I really don't feel. To me, it does feel a lot like Arkham, and I played Arkham like 5 years late and still really liked it. I'll play Spider-Man by the end of the year, but I don't think that's something I need to run.
I think if it had like a tie-in to the movies or something like that, then there would be more like a pressure to play it now.
Yeah, I don't feel any pressure to play it, or really any. I mean, I have a desire to play it, but I don't have any desire to play it right away. So,
but yeah, so that game is what it is, I think, and it's sort of like Tokyo Mirage. It's sort of like some of the other games in the past few years where if I didn't get to play it at that certain time, like there was just a nice little clearing for it, then who knows what I would have thought of it when, all this other stuff's pushing me.
I feel a little bad because I think that happened to you with Nier.
Happened to me with Nier. It happened to me with basically spring
because
games last year.
I like love Nier. I like it way more than I give off to.
Yeah.
And I feel
you gave it Game of the Year last year.
I know, but like I wish you and more people got to play it more because it did come out at a time that was a little rough.
So yeah, like I said, I'll be saying more about it as the game or as the year goes on. But that's probably it for my Octopath updates. Like I said, there's a couple more things I wanted to try in it, but it's not worth mentioning. But yeah, it is in a rock solid place as far as this year's games have gone, and I guess we're 60% of the way through the year, so it's looking good so far from God of War and that, and a couple other things that we talked about like a month ago as far as our...
I'm excited for this back half of the year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games that I'm very excited to play. A lot of smaller, under-the-radar games that I'm very excited to play.
And on top of Octopath, now that I unofficially 100%ed it today, but I gave myself some time with Monster Hunter World that finally released on PC, and this is the game, I'm sure people that listen week in, week out at least, this is the one where when it came out, I was just like, I was reaching to play it, but the other hand was pulling it back sort of thing. Like I made myself not watch anything on it and just hold back because I just knew they were going to put it on PC, just didn't know when. And, maybe a month or two ago, they said August. So I was like, okay, I can make it. Game finally came out.
Worth the wait?
Yeah. I like it. I can see why there's such a rabid following of it. At least for a while, the hype on it's kind of died out by now. I'm sure it'll pick back up now that there's a whole new...
we're gonna update it. Every 2 months or even Destiny. I feel like is struggling just because these other games are updating every week, every 2 weeks, and it's kind of burying them in news. Yeah.
But I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a wave as far as all these people playing it now. So I'm sure it'll be back in one of the buzzwords, I guess, again for a little bit while the September games wait to release. But having fun with it. I haven't played it in a group yet, but I've kind of gotten the hang of it, I guess is what I'll say. And I've played a few quests, missions, whatever they're called in the game. and I've gotten kind of my technique down and kind of understand how the game works. I've played other Monster Hunters, but this one's a little bit different. And this is the first console one I guess I've played, so it's interesting. But yeah, I'm digging it, and I'm sure I can put a load of hours into it. So it'll be that and Banner Saga 3, which I installed and got it like set up. I need to give myself a little bit of a reminder because 1, 2, and 3 have kind of been spaced out a little bit, so it's hard for me to remember. So in a choice, like every choice matters style of game, you need to get that reminder, I guess. And they don't do like the
last episode.
Yeah, they don't do like the Walking Dead games or anything like that, where it's just like, here's everything you just did for 40 minutes.
I love that when you play the game straight through and you're like, man, I don't want to watch this.
But yeah, those will be my 2 games this next week, and it'll be nice to finally get off of the Switch and really PS4 and just kind of sit down and camp out on the PC and do my thing there. So it'll be nice.
Nerd.
Yep.
So that's it for you from what you've played?
Yep.
Yeah, I've had a light week as well. I've jumped into Octopath and played a little bit more of that. My opinion on it hasn't changed. I played Mega Man X5. I talked about that last week. I finished Mega Man X5, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. I definitely think it's the weakest of the X games. But I have this completionist mentality, and I was like, I'm just going to get these 5 trophies that are in it in the collection and then move on. I beat the game 7 times.
Oh,
because I beat the game in 15 minutes, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Did
you feel like a speedrunner?
Kind of. There's a certain way you can get to the final castle without fighting any of the bosses, and you can actually just go through it with the Mega Buster and beat it. And I did that. It turned out I didn't have to, but I did that and beat it. So the problem with this game in particular, as far as how it's structured, is it's got a couple story events that happen, like triggers and stuff, but they are random. So, like, you can launch a missile, and it hits the space shuttle, and if it's successful, you can actually just go on to the final castle. But if it's not successful, you have to do a rescue mission and send out the space shuttle. And you can do things to help you, like if you beat certain villains, you get blueprints to like build the missile, and the other villains have blueprints to build the shuttle, so you can like help your chances, but it's not guaranteed. So, like, my first time playing through the game, I didn't realize that there was that, and one of my missions failed and my second one passed. And then I, like, beat the game, and then I beat the game at 0, and one of the trophies is to get all the endings.
Yeah.
So, since it's up to RNG, I was, like, playing the game, attempting it, it would fail, reset, play the game, attempt it, reset. So, like...
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was not a good time. I was very frustrated. It took me longer to get the trophies in this than all the other ones combined doubled. It was really, really frustrating. That being said, I hopped into X6 after that, which is one of the least liked ones. Usually X7's the worst and X6 is next. And so far I like X6 better than X5 pretty
setting the
heavily.
bar high.
Yeah, pretty heavily. I think the music in X6 is phenomenal. Way, way, way better than I remember. X5 kind of went in this more rock direction with its music. If you kind of like Symphony of the Night kind of did. It's got this more like rock album to it, and it was a little weird, and I think X6 brings it together and makes it work much better. There's mechanics in X6 that are frustrating. Like, the reason people don't like X6 is it's frustratingly hard. But I will take frustratingly hard and straightforward over obtuse and random, which is what X5 is. So I'm enjoying it. I'm not very far in X6 at all, but it looks like I can just play through the game, and as long as I do the triggers correctly, I'll have that one platinum in one playthrough, and then I get to go on to the worst game in the series, X7, and that'll be the make or break moment for if I'm going to platinum that particular collection, because, oh boy, the nightmare stories I've heard about that one.
You haven't played it?
I've played X7. I have it. I played it as a kid and didn't like it. A Mega Man game Kevin as a kid did not like. I'm expecting it to be awful, but I don't remember anything about it. Like, I remember very slight things in that.
You like Men in Black to yourself, basically?
It was really bad. So I'm excited to check it out. Interestingly enough, in that collection, they're actual remasters. Like, it's not emulating the PS2 games. They, like, went in and remastered them, and I've heard that it's a lot better. Like, the presentation and stuff is always sharper, and it works a lot better than the original one because it was pretty fuzzy and gross. Oh, another thing that people don't like about X6 is it was clearly rushed to market, and all the voice acting's in Japanese still. Like, there's no English in it at all, which is...
Subtitles, at least?
Yeah, there's subtitles, but, like, it looks like it's Google text translated. Like, it is total... There's typos everywhere. Like, the first indicator that I had that something was weird is when I went to the save menu, and usually it just says save or cancel, and it said, okay to save, ? And something else, and I was like, okay to save? I was like, what is that?
Yeah, it's just asking you if it's okay to save.
I was like, what does that mean? And then I went and watched like a video on it because I was just a little confused at why it was in Japanese and everything. And yeah, there's like translation problems like crazy in X6. So I'm excited to get to those too.
They just had the intern do it.
Yeah, it's really bad apparently. On top of that, I played Dead by Daylight, which was a free PlayStation Plus game for this month.
Yeah.
This is very much like Friday the 13th. When expecting Friday the 13th, this game is significantly less fun than Friday the 13th.
Is it?
It's just as janky and like weird, and I think it's pretty confusing about what's going on. I think Friday the 13th is way more straightforward. It is cool that they have so many killers and so many packs. Like Leatherface is in there, Freddy Krueger's in there, the Pigman from Saw's in there, Michael Myers, and then they have a couple of their own, and they're all pretty cool. I definitely like they have a nurse that's neat. They have like this hag witch that like puts traps on the grounds, and like she'll like draw pentagrams or whatever on the ground.
So I've always seen this game like near the top of Twitch, at least before Fortnite kind of.
Yeah, when it first came out, it was pretty popular.
But I never like watched it, so I didn't know I didn't know that they used like basically licensed characters.
Yeah, it's all DLC, but yes, they have licensed stuff. I don't know. I'm just not as attached to it as Friday the 13th.
Sure.
To be fair, I like Friday the 13th better than those series, but just the fact that the map in Friday the 13th is like an actual council, like camp counselor area and everything, and in this one, it's this weird like otherworld hub thing that makes no sense, and it seems like it's all just procedurally generated every time, and it just feels a little...
It kind of helps that they found a theme basically with Friday the 13th and just stuck to it.
It feels a little lifeless because of
injecting a bunch of
other
things that that weren't like meant for the game into it.
So I'm a little disappointed by it, to be honest. I'm probably going to play it a few more rounds and make sure that I don't like it, but I'm not in love with it so far. The thing is, I'm still understanding the mechanics. Like I'm not 100% sure about what the killer's action. Like I got sacrificed, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what happens if I...
That's fair.
I mean, like, can I just get killed?
Yeah.
Like, I got sacrificed. Like, there's some weird stuff in there. There's definitely things that are better than Friday the 13th. Like, when you die, you can leave the match. In Friday the 13th,
oh,
if you leave the match, you have to watch the whole match.
Groundbreaking.
When it ends, yeah.
But yeah, there's been mediocre quality games that I'm just really good at that I've just like kept playing just because I can crush people. So I get sort of that.
I played Quantum of Solace on Xbox 360. I understand. Other than that, I played Fortnite on my phone to check it out. It's exclusive to Galaxy for like 2 weeks or something like that. I don't know.
We in there.
It runs like garbage. it runs real bad.
To the surprise of no one.
I don't know if it's an optimization issue or if it's my phone. I do have the oldest phone model that it'll run on.
There we go.
Oh, no, I don't. I have the second oldest.
Oh, I was going to say.
It only runs on 7s, 8s, and 9s, I think.
I was going to say, barely meeting specs doesn't ever really turn out in your favor.
Also, as I was talking to you about earlier, I keep my phone in medium power saving mode all the time because I play so much Pokemon Go. So yeah, I could probably shut that off and it would probably run much better.
Yeah.
That being said, it's Fortnite. It's playable. You can't like build really or anything. It's basically you just run around and tap the screen when you see somebody and shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do your dailies and you can check the store and buy stuff, and that's the important part to me. So that's what it's going to become is there's a daily I need to do, or let's see what's in the store. Oh, I can buy that. So let
me drive down the interstate going 80 and get my dailies done.
Well, it used to be like to get your daily, you need to log in for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So like there'd be days where I'd get home and it'd be like 11, and I'm like, I gotta turn on my PlayStation and log on to Fortnite and get that daily because it doesn't just pop up if you don't log on. Now, logging on the phone, could go to bed. It's much better. But that's it for me. Like I said, I haven't played much. Next week, I kind of like how you set up your next week.
Yeah.
Next week, I would expect that X6 is finished, and I may have started X7. And I might have started We Happy Few. I also downloaded the We Happy Few VR experience, which I thought was really interesting. There's a PlayStation VR We Happy Few game that's like 20 minutes long, as far as I understand. That company is owned by Microsoft. Like, all this stuff was clearly set in stone before Microsoft bought them, but it's just so weird to think that it's a Microsoft game and it's got a PlayStation VR thing.
Well, I mean, if they're not going to do it, someone's got to.
It's just a little strange. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm looking at for the future. This is a very quiet month for me, which is really nice because it's about to get crazy.
Yeah, this is a non-video game month. Basically, I mean, Banner Saga 3 isn't going to really last me long. Monster Hunter is just kind of, oh, hey, the boys are on, I'll jump on and play. You know, sort of, so like an hour a night, maybe, most nights. But yeah, this is going to be a very non-video game, like, catch-up month, basically, with everything else.
With that said, let's move into the news. Like I said, we have a lot to talk about. We'll start with EVO.
Okay.
We'll start with EVO. So EVO happened last weekend. At this point, and a couple controversies, a couple upsets, a couple things, a lot of reveals. So why don't you run us through some of the?
I'll just go through the big games. Yeah. Basically, I'll kind of just go chronological order, I guess.
Sure.
Soul Calibur had a side tournament, but they like most games, like we talked about at the top of the show, most games revealed something. A lot of games had a ton of announcements. Some games just had one little thing, sort of just like a and by the way. Soul Calibur side tournament, I didn't really even bother watching the tournament. Just like I said, it was like on Evo 8, I think, the Twitch channel. But they did reveal Songmina and Astaroth, who are both in some of the older titles. So everyone's happy, of course, that old characters keep coming out. So we're getting close to this game. It's probably two months away at this point. So getting close. There's no word yet on final number of characters, and even people talking about the game while it was being streamed. There's some builds of the game where you can see the character select, and obviously you can be like, oh, so I guess there's 24 or however many boxes are sitting there. But then one of the producers or designers or whoever on the game, or directors on the game, was just like, don't take that verbatim, because in some of the older games, maybe there was a character select screen or a box right here, but that had like multiple people in it. So it's one of those things like, how many people do we have left? So it feels like maybe each week, I guess, up until maybe a few weeks out on the game, they'll probably be releasing one or two more videos on people. So that's cool. Game looks great. Everyone who plays it loves it. It's just one of those things where it's just got to come out now, basically, and add to this plethora really good fighting games, or at least like variety. But I guess the first big tournament was Injustice 2. Winner in that one, Rewind. Never heard of the guy. Was more surprised that Sonic Fox didn't win because he's sort of the NetherRealms player.
He got third, right?
Yeah, he got third. Yeah. I guess a memorable moment from that is that there were two clanmates, this Rewind guy and Tweety, who were in the finals. So that's cool that you're starting to see now. It used to kind of be like Evo 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago was just the people's names. It would be like, and here's Kevin with, maybe your username, and versus Nick, username.
Jonathan Fatality went
But now, like, everyone's sponsored. They got the jerseys. Like, it's full esports now. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, two clanmates fighting, bringing home the money, I guess, for guild or whatever they're called, the team, I guess.
Yeah, I love when two friends fight in the finals. It doesn't go badly at all.
Blaze Blue cross tag battle.
Yeah.
We watched handful of matches, I think, last week.
Watched I think the finals and the grand finals. So.
Winner was Hey-Ho on that one, but I put as the memorable moment on that was the finals. They had Team Scythe, so basically Ruby and what's dude's name?
Gordo.
Gordo. In the finals versus you and other guy. Jin, yeah. So Team Scythe, Team Katana, it was pretty cool. But Team Scythe destroyed.
Dude.
There's clearly strong characters in this game.
Yeah, you get punished so badly for messing up in that game. More than a lot of other... Like, you just die in a lot of instances.
The game's still new, I guess, so maybe over the next year or so.
Yeah, they announced 9 characters.
So maybe some more people kind of rise up to the top, but for right now, there seems a clear out front team to use right now. But yeah, like you mentioned,
do you have the character announcements or no?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But for this one, there was just so many that there's just multiple characters from each of the listed franchises that are there already.
There's 9 new characters that are all out now, I believe,
and then they're adding a franchise to it.
And they announced just kind of in a weird way. They were like, "Hey, there's another color in the trailer."
Yeah.
Which all the colors represent a franchise. So if there's a new color, there's a new franchise coming out. Data miners have figured out that it is the Peach Beach Splash game company, Segurin something, I don't know,
something like that.
But apparently, I just looked into it a little bit because I've never played any of those games. Apparently, the characters in those games are really cool. So I'm interested. Yeah. I'd prefer it to be like I really wanted to be and like 9S in the game, but whatever.
I mean, I'll take the 9, 12, however many people. That was kind of the knock on the game. Yeah, it's coming out a little bit cheaper. Yeah, there's going to be people post-game, like half are in the actual launch and then the other half are coming. But now that they're throwing more in, okay, now it's getting like to a beefy roster. So even though you might know like 10% of it, still pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next one was Smash Brothers Wii U. Winner was Lima. Obviously, the big moment from this one was the finals. Bayonetta is obviously the clear and obvious pick.
Busted character that nobody can beat.
I think some people use Cloud a little bit.
Has actual combos.
Yeah. But far and away the best character. But they got to the finals and they dicked around. They got
the judge called on them for stalling.
Yeah.
Because they were taunting and charging their guns. And then
pretty much in a reaction to, I guess, the crowd, and then
them.
like it was just kind of a back and forth. Like crowd would boo, and then they would do stupid like taunts.
Yeah, they killed themselves.
Yeah,
it was dumb. So basically, the reason the crowd's booing is because they don't like Bayonetta, because Bayonetta is busted. They were against Bayonetta the entire time, and then the final 3 people ended up being Bayonettas. Yeah. And the crowd left. A whole bunch of the arena left before the grand finals even started. They were like, screw this. They were booing. And then, to make it worse, I think they were 16-year-old kids that were playing, just started taunting and charging their moves and not actually fighting. And the ref came over to them and he's like, the 3rd place winner is going to win if you don't attack each other. Yeah. Like, that's what he told them.
Yeah, and a lot of people, especially like even commentators, like when it gets to the point where commentators like, what's going on? Like, that's when it's pretty bad. Just kind of hurting like the spirit of it, because this is a very serious tournament. This is the Mecca, I guess, is the All-Star or the Super Bowl or whatever event for a lot of these games. And, for them to kind of just not take it seriously, sort of rub people
I knew Bayonetta
the wrong
was
way.
going to destroy that tournament.
Don't imagine...
It's almost like it's not a fighting game.
Don't imagine Wii U Smash is going to be a headliner game next year. Mostly because, obviously, Ultimate...
You mean like in it at all?
Oh, no, it'll
Wii U.
Be there.
Okay, sorry. I thought you meant Smash, like the new Smash. I was like,
No, Melee will still be there for sure. But yeah, I think Ultimate's going to take this one's place. Not only because of the imbalance, I guess, of the game, but why would you show that one when the new one's here? Next one is Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. Winner was Omito in that one. We watched a little bit of that one.
Teeny bit, yeah.
Memorable moment from that one was that we finally got an American in the top 8 for one of these major tournaments in this game, which is pretty cool. Other than that, it just kind of seemed like the same old dudes. Just kind of crush them. I don't know too much about this game, but it's always nice when you get that one lonely American in a sea of Japanese and or Korean players. And so he had the crowd behind him and all that. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, we don't know too much about that game, but what they did say, they kind of soft revealed or just kind of teased the fact that the creators of this game are working on a new title. So whether that is a new Guilty Gear,
It's gotta be.
so it's just kind of they just said something, but it wasn't really an announcement. So a lot of people online were hoping that they were going to announce Persona 5 Arena, but kind of the way that they did this makes it seem like it's a new Guilty Gear.
I don't think it's Persona
anymore. Next game, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Winner was Leffen in that one. Memorable moment, obviously the finals. Two long-time people. Obviously, Melee is super old, so the people that are usually in the top 8, at least probably 6 out of the top 8, if not all 8, are kind of the same people. Always just kind of mixed around, just depending on, if they lost here, lost there. Leffen versus Armada, Fox versus Peach was the finals. Good match. Like I said, it's always the same crew doing it. When you get these long-term games, that's kind of just how it happens. I would imagine it's probably still got it's at least going to be the 8th game on the main stage next year.
I really want
Ultimate's not going to knock it.
There's
down.
No game I'd like to see leave more than Melee.
Yeah. It's just got such a huge following
I hate it.
It's just not going anywhere. Obviously, no announcements for that game.
New character.
We'll get the Smash later. As far as news on that one, Tekken 7. This is a really fun one to watch all the way through. This was a Sunday.
Your commentator bias.
No, well, there's that too. But Tekken 7's fun to watch in my eyes, at least.
I love watching Tekken.
Winner was Low High in that one, but the memorable moment right when the top 8 started, the very first match, we had a King player who, bias on that one, but Lil Majin, also from home state. But yeah, it was another American in a sea of Japanese and Koreans, but it was a really close match between this American player, King, versus JDCR, which is a very well-known name in Tekken, in the Tekken world, and that was just like a really great way to start off a top 8, because usually you get the slow roll and games get better, higher stakes, but this one, everyone was screaming. Obviously, you have an American guy up on the stage, so everyone's chanting USA, USA, just getting into it, but this was a crazy match in the fact that, this is like a historical match almost, it was almost like watching like a Rocky movie. The American guy just gets trashed the first round and takes his headset off. He's hyping the crowd up, like everyone's getting behind him, and then he comes back and just wins it and moves on. And it was just crazy. There's a lot of hype in that one. Commentators are screaming, people in the crowd screaming, just everyone. It was just lighting up. But anyways, the other big thing from Tekken that weekend was their reveal. They finally let out, revealed that they were doing, a season 2.
Season 2 after a month ago lying about it. Straight lying. Which is cool, I guess.
They came in hot with multiple characters. The first one was Ana. Mm-hmm. They also did crowd favorite Lei Wulong. That I guess every time I see,
that's the most requested.
Yeah, every time I see someone announce, everyone's just where's Lei? Where's Lei? And then they also teased a Walking Dead character, Negan, at the end of it. From what I understand, I left the Walking Dead train a long time ago.
He's a very popular character that's well liked.
Yeah, from what I understand, he's he's the marking point, I guess, where people are just like, fuck this. Yeah. He's not that the character's bad. I guess the show just went downhill, so everyone just kind of attributes it to him. But I don't know anything about him. I know
stuff about him, and I don't watch The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's not positive.
He's been in a bunch of memes and a bunch of Saturday Night Live, skits and just stuff like that.
What a weird crossover.
It's weird, yeah.
I could think of 40 way better characters that
I can think of Tekken characters that they could put in there. But I guess they showed 5
other slots.
5 other slots. There was Ana, Lei, and Negan, and then there's 3 other silhouettes, 3
or 4, yeah.
So,
and those will probably be Tekken characters.
Yeah,
because I wanted to kind of go over the Tekken Tag 2 because that's the biggest roster, and pick. And I looked at it and I was like, I don't care. I love Tekken. Tekken's my favorite fighting game, but I'm so satisfied with 7. Yeah. I don't care. I think Roger Jr. would be cool, the kangaroo.
Yeah,
I miss him. That's about it.
As long as PETA, I guess.
Yeah, he's the only character I can think of that
WWF
feels like he's missing.
Yeah.
The other characters, I like Christy a lot, but she's just a Eddie Gordo clone character. I like Sebastian's cool, but he's just a clone of Lily.
Yeah, and because obviously the silhouettes matched Anna and Lay's, it just kind of feels like it's 5 Tekken characters and Negan.
It's definitely 5 Tekken. Like,
so at this point, it just kind of feels like let's give the people what they want, basically. And they're not gonna like make new people. I don't think. I think it's just really sold favorites. Still waiting for that Armor King though.
That's possible. No, once again, like that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of like cloney characters that they left out. There's a couple major ones, I guess, but
though obviously at least fighting game franchises, when you get into like the 7th game, you start getting the clones or the brothers or the
like I don't need Jack 6 and Jack 5 to return.
That would be a cop out for sure. Next game, getting down to the big boys, I guess. Dragon Ball FighterZ. Winner of that one, Sonic Fox. Memorable match, I'll just say it's the finals. What was cool about this one is that Sonic Fox used Zamasu, who was the newest release character, I believe. So it's a lot of people in these tournaments spend months and months and months and just thousands of hours just grinding practice mode and fighting against other people, getting like their mainstay characters. And so it's kind of unusual to be like, oh, this person released a few weeks ago, put him in my team.
Yeah, he was getting criticized for playing as him. And kept getting told to switch.
Yeah.
Switch characters. I do want to talk about the kind of the controversy for that one. Basically, what happened was they're playing. He was in winners. The other person was in losers, and ended up resetting the bracket on him. So he beat him, and since you have to lose twice, you basically reset.
Yeah.
You start over, and whoever loses, that next one lost. So during the reset, he called over the judge and stuff, and he's like, "Hey, can I switch seats during a reset?
Yeah.
Like, can I take the player 1 slot?" And I was talking to Todd about it, and I don't know if you know anything about it, but Todd said that the player 1 spot in Dragon Ball is like important. Like it has an advantage to it. That I don't know if you can speak to that at all. But anyway, he says that he wanted the player 1 slot and stuff. And what happened was the set before that, he got stomped.
Yeah.
Like he got destroyed.
Yeah.
So what it appeared like he was doing was just cooling off his opponent, basically calling a timeout in volleyball. Or
freezing the kicker.
Yeah, he's like, you hold up, we're going to do some stuff, rearrange, get you a little uncomfortable, and then we're going to restart.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. They ended up flipping a coin over who got the first seat. Sonic Fox won the first seat. He took it over, and then he won overall. And, people accused him of, like, doing that. I personally don't think that he did it on purpose. They spoke different languages. It seemed like there was some confusion.
There's
because of that,
and there's the whole, like, a lot of these people too haven't been on stage in front of thousands of people. Like,
there's a lot.
Time in that scenario seems to me, who also hasn't been in front of thousands of people, seems like it kind of slows down a little bit. So something that took 5 minutes on, film or something like when you watch a recording or a playback. That was probably like instance for him. So
I do want to say Sonic Fox tweeted out after he said he would have lost if he didn't switch sides.
Really?
Yeah, he said he totally would have lost if he didn't get the player 1 side. So at least he's honest about what I mean. Clearly he felt at a disadvantage on P2.
And also too, as far as freezing, the kicker or the other sports references we made, like momentum is a huge thing when you're coming. When you're coming up from the loser's side, they obviously settle who's going to be in the grand finals for the winner way before who from the loser bracket is going to come fight him. So basically, you're sitting there staying in that seat. Next person, come on, next person. So like, there's a momentum sort of thing there. So yeah, when you stop all of a sudden, like he didn't have that long a break even between matches. He was fighting against a guy named Goichi, who was crazy popular for that style of game, the Marvel type, the tag sort of mechanic games. But yeah, when you're in that sort of scenario and you just have to stop, then on top of whatever he tweeted out.
Do you like Sonic Fox?
I
actually really like Sonic Fox.
I'm not offended by him. He hits a lot of people. He strikes a lot of chords for some people.
Yeah, I think off the stage I'm not a fan of him, but when he's fighting, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I also do want to say most watched Evo event ever.
Yeah.
The Dragon Ball fighter.
He's also insanely good, so it's hard to just hate him.
Yeah, like as somebody who likes Tom Brady, it's like how do you hate somebody who just keeps winning? I don't understand.
I mean, like you mentioned earlier, he was third in Injustice. He's much more known for the NetherRealm games, but obviously Dragon Ball Fighters is the culmination. Like, let's just bring all the people into
I
one.
actually just appreciate him because he doesn't like Street Fighter at all. Do you know that story? He played in a Street Fighter tournament and lost. And he's like, this game sucks, and he just never played it again.
Well, he also played the most like Japanese non-Street Fighter character.
He also plays Lucky Chloe in Tekken, so whatever.
Speaking of Street Fighter, I guess I should say Dragon Ball Fighters revealed Cooler, which is Frieza's brother. That was their big stage moment. Obviously, we still know there's a few characters that have been announced that just haven't been revealed yet. Android 17. No, 18, and a couple other people who I forget at this point in time.
Is Android 18 not that girl?
17, sorry. Whichever one's the dude. 17.
I thought 18 was the girl.
20.
What?
The new one?
21.
I don't know. There's a lot of androids.
It's
but
21 and 18.
But final game, Street Fighter V. Winner was Problem X. I've never heard of him, but it was a cool finals. He played M. Bison versus Tokido, which is a very well-known name in Street Fighter. He's a long time, not just Street Fighter V, just through the entire series. Guy played Akuma. And the cool reveal for that one was... It wasn't cool in the fact like how they did it. They had a big stage performance and a cosplayer or whatever dude came
weird.
out. Kind of odd, but made up for it by saying the guy who was cosplaying G, new character.
Happened before the fight too.
And well, probably because of how late. The fight
well,
was.
I mean, I watched it and then I shut it off because I don't care about the fight.
But they announced G and Sagat, the last two announced for this season, I guess, of Street Fighter. Were out the next day, so that was really cool. But yeah, glad they did it before the tournament because I obviously had to watch bits of it after because of how late it was.
Yeah, I was just
pretty cool. I liked the structure of this. They're getting better, I think, with all the Evos. The stadiums and the crowds and all that are going up each year, and like I said, I'm glad that they're just like, hey, I designed this game. Thank you for playing. We have a great top 8. Also, announcement. I like the way that they do this. So.
Yeah, I like that they're giving the behind-the-scenes people a face that come out on stage. You know, like kind of like Reggie from Nintendo. People are like, oh, what's Reggie going to announce? He's being interviewed. You know what I mean? I like that they kind of each brand has its own face to come out and announce things. Very good Evo overall.
Yeah,
enjoyed it. Quite
really loved it.
So I thought I don't know I thought Dragon Ball was boring to watch though. I don't like watching that game. People, my Twitter was blowing up during the Dragon Ball. Like people that don't watch fighting games were watching Dragon Ball, and I was like, man. That's impressive.
You got to be into it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love watching Tekken, but I can imagine people who don't, know what's going on. They'd be like, why is this cool? And I'm like, oh, because now he's in Rage.
Yeah. It always helps to know a little bit. So whether you're, like, super anime and, like, Dragon Ball, or you've played all the way back since the second Street Fighter was released, and you're seeing some of these old faces and rivalries and all that, like, you just kind of have to be super into it. So.
It brought in people that already play fighting games, and it brought people from a genre that are totally open to playing fighting games. So that's pretty good. Next up, God of War is getting a new game plus. So this is coming, I think it was October 28th, but I may be making that up and didn't write down the date because I'm a bad host. But basically they're going to be adding new game plus, which is going to add a new armor rarity, new enemies. Old enemies are going to have new attacks. I didn't want to talk too much about it, but they're going to have some sort of new attacks. You'll be able to skip cinematics during it. You can change difficulty at the beginning of it. There'll be new items to collect. It's a new game plus.
August 20th.
20th?
Yeah.
Oh, sooner than I thought. Wow. Cool. They announced that at E3 in a very weird, bad, in my opinion, way. It was very like, so talk to us about your game. Oh, God of War. Oh, okay. It was very strange. But
that was Leighton that said that, right? It was like the off-camera, or not off-camera, but like off-stage.
It was an off, it was an
when
off-stage
they were switching.
Like, interview.
Yeah, when they were transitioning between the weird
but they didn't have anything to show or even say what it was. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm glad that exists for whenever I want to play through the game again. But that time is nowhere near.
I feel like this is like a 2020 replay for me.
I agree. I agree. It's you announced God of War 2 and it's coming out.
It's weird
Let me play
because
through one again.
when I beat the game, I said I wanted a new game plus, like right then, but we're past that point
been too
now.
long.
And it's way too close to September to start that again.
Next up, The World Ends With You for the Switch has gotten a release date of October 12th. I am so excited about this game. It looks beautiful. They've added new like dungeons or whatever they're called in the game. They've added a 2-player mode to the game, so you're going to be able to play it co-op.
Yep.
I have been wanting to... I didn't realize how old this game is. The game's almost 11 years old.
Yeah, it's real old.
And I've been wanting it for a long time, and I'm so excited that I'm finally going to get the definitive version of this game. And it's coming out right on top of all the other games I want. Mega Man 11's coming out. The Astrobot Rescue VR game that I've been wanting to play comes out that week. This comes out, like, it's all right on top of each other, and I'm going to have a very good first 2 weeks of October. Let me tell you.
Yeah, this is one of those I'm in no hurry whatsoever to play. Like, there's no... something that's 11 years old that just got remastered, redone, or just ported over. Like, I'm good.
What about Spyro?
I'll find... That's a little more than just a remaster. That's a lot more than just a fresh coat of paint. But I don't know. Even Spyro, like, I don't know if it'll trump a lot of these games. But yeah, like, it'll be a awesome first couple of hours, I guess, and be like, oh yeah, I remember why I love this game. Then new stuff's gonna hit, and I'll just be like, hold on, Spyro, I'll come back. Next up,
I was correct last week. The Persona dancing games are releasing December 4th.
Yeah.
And in a twist that I didn't think was going to happen, Persona 4 Dancing All Night is being remastered for the PlayStation 4 and will be part of the bundle for $100. You can get both games and 4 as a digital bonus.
Very worth it.
Awesome deal. Yeah. I was worried when they announced these games and they were bringing it out. Like, the Pokemon games are like $40 games. So when you buy 2 of them, it doesn't feel that bad. That's like not that much more than a regular priced game. But selling these for $60 and then $60, which is, $120, and then maybe adding in the bonus of the other one, I thought this was going to be a $150 bundle, and I was like, uh-oh, like, that's not good. And the fact that it came out for $100, I was like,
and the bundle, our bundle, I guess, US bundle, gets a art book, and I guess the CDs with them. I don't mind if they're not, because I already have the songs from the imported version. Okay,
it has CDs. So I don't know if it's like 10 song, like a mini CD, but it has 2 CDs with it. Okay,
but yeah, art book, so that's pretty cool. So I guess I'm going to buy the bundle of this game twice, but this time I will be able to understand what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
I'm sure I'll gladly platinum or get close to platinum both games.
It's not too hard.
I don't go too far out of my way to do like just weird stuff, like weird modes or...
Yeah, the only annoying platinum in this is you need to make sure you wear everyone's outfits constantly. Like, you need to swap their outfits every song to be able to meet the thing. But that also unlocks the story mode, the comm mode. That's how you unlock like On's comm and stuff. So you need to do it if you want to experience all the story stuff.
Obviously, with the imported versions, I just limited myself to just playing the songs and moving on. But I
platinum them both.
I can enjoy the full game now.
Yeah, super exciting, and it's coming earlier than they said, which is very nice.
Almost
rare surprise.
Well, I know December's a little beefy too with some of the games that are spilling over, I guess, from before it.
One game in December.
And I think the Xenoblade expansion's in December, isn't it?
I don't care.
Don't care enough to know. But I also kind of want to play P4 dancing again. So.
Oh, I'm definitely at least playing some of P4.
So that'll be interesting. That's going to be a fun month.
I might
I know what December is. Smash.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's one game in December. Next up, Red Dead randomly got tweeted that they're going to do a gameplay reveal. What does that mean? Whatever. It turns out they dropped a video, sort of Nintendo Direct feeling style.
It was. Yeah, it wasn't just like, hey, check our YouTube page. It was like IGN and other places like setting up for it, and it was like a whole event.
Well, that's because it's Red Dead.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a couple-minute long video where they went into... I don't want to say super specific, but they went into specific stuff about kind of how the game would play and what you're going to be doing in this game.
They've been doing that with their past couple of titles a little bit more, but fully narrated. It's almost like that's the tutorial where it's showing you like this is everything that's in the game, but not like super specifics. It's just like gameplay elements. Like, how is this different from one?
As somebody who didn't like Red Dead 1 and absolutely hates horseback riding in video games, I don't want to say I'm 100% on board for this game, but I went
it's
up
back
like,
on your radar.
Absolutely on my radar. It reminded me of Final Fantasy 15. And the parts of 15 that I liked, which was hanging out with the group, where you're camping together, you're cooking together, you're learning about their stories and stuff, and it felt a lot like that. You kind of had this like brigade that's camping up at night, and you're telling stories. And they said like you can really get to know the characters more. They each have their own families that you can kind of interact with. You can do
it's basically
like,
you're in
side
an outlaw
quests
gang
with
so
them. Like it seemed a lot cooler than I thought it would. It didn't present itself as, well, here's the Western game where you can do the Western side. I actually really liked how it presented itself. So back on my radar.
Interactive, it seemed. Like, even just simple stuff as you have a few button choices. Like, if you're just riding up next to someone, instead of just a queued interaction, sort of like Grand Theft Auto, if you're walking past someone, they have like a canned line that they say. This one's like you can hit a button and be like, howdy, ma'am, or, piss off, dude, or something like that. So like you can get into arguments and stuff like that. So I like, with these types of games, I like the moment-to-moment stuff. So that beefs it up for me, and it can make it feel a little bit more real and make it feel like I'm going to have my own stories to tell about my Red Dead Redemption versus, everyone else's.
Yeah.
Versus the old style where it was just like, oh man, did you get to the part? Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome. And we're just like, we played the same game.
It's more like a movie. Yeah, like I said, more interested in it than it was, which is good. Did its job. Next up, some more gameplay revealed. They had QuakeCon, which, as far as I know from the announcements of that, the big one is that Quake is free to play on Steam now. And Doom Eternal got some gameplay.
A lot of gameplay, actually.
What did you think about that, Captain Doom? You really like Doom.
Yeah, I really like... I guess it was 2016 is when it came out. I really like this game for the fact that it's one of those, like, shut off all the lights, throw your headphones on, and just, like, get sucked into it, because it's one of those, like, adrenaline sort of games where, like, you're doing one thing, oh, yeah, I'm awesome, and then they throw a new enemy on you, you're like, oh, crap. You get the hang of it, and it's like, throw another enemy on you, and it's like, oh, crap. You new to this?
I keep hitting it with my chin.
But it's one of those, like, it just keeps getting more and more packed on, and it's just like, you get done with a level and you're like, why am I sweating? It's just like you're getting so into it. So it's really cool to see this one. Graphics looks better. It seems like they sped up the game a little bit more. It was funny because they started off the game on console, and then, a couple minutes into it, they were talking about like the new gameplay element that they just showed on stage, and they're like, how about we switch over to keyboard and mouse and run this on PC? And then just felt like it was 2 times faster and even more hectic. But the big thing for this one is that there's, I guess, a main gun, probably just a normal assault rifle, but it seems like it's got like a grappler sort of style. So basically, you can grapple onto an enemy and just like pull yourself over to them or do like crazy stunts and stuff. So it opens up, I guess, the gameplay now where it's not just run and double jump. Like you can fling yourself all over the place. So that opens up like combat a little bit, and you can just be like more crazy, more hectic. And obviously now he's got like a side blade on his arm that sort of makes him look like the Predator. But you can do so many more, not really finishers, but just like killing animations with it. So really fun. It's more of the same, but they're just beefing everything up. Graphics, speed, enemy types. You see him pull out this really cool sword at the end. So there's just a lot of stuff going on. The music seems more ramped up. Obviously, they have that Mick Gordon guy back. He's wailing away on his guitar, I guess, still. So maybe Game Awards this year, we'll get to see him on stage again, headbanging while everyone else is just like, ooh, video games. But no, everything seemed cool. It was like 20 minutes worth of gameplay footage, so there's a lot going on. They talked about like actually putting in like a story in the game and stuff like that. So like they're, I guess, rounding out the game a little bit more. So it'll be cool. I'm super hyped for it, but it's the fact that it's Doom and it's like just that type of game. It can come out whenever. You don't need it like tomorrow, but when it comes out, obviously it's going to suck away your weekend, and go from there. It's gonna be really fun to play.
Yeah, I like Doom. I'm excited to. I would play this. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, like I said, it's just it can just literally come out at any time. So it's not
a big commitment.
Yeah, well, that, and it's not like Red Dead's like, oh, I gotta have Red Dead right now, or God of War, or whatever game.
You don't want Doom spoiled for you?
I mean, that's the thing. No one's gonna spend YouTube videos like, oh, did you see that last boss, or that cameo from this character? It's like, who?
You won't believe what Doom guy said.
But yeah, with an air quote that has like the text of what he actually says. Yeah. But yeah,
a red arrow.
Game seems really sweet, and it seems like they improved basically every category from the 2016 version, which is already awesome. So can't wait.
Next up, IGN had a little bit of controversy this week as they put up a Dead Cell review. Basically, somebody working at IGN, Philip, put up his review for Dead Cells, and Boomstick Gaming was like, "Hey, this is suspicious. Like, this
I'm getting
is
deja
very
vu here."
Similar to his video. So he did a side-by-side comparison where he's like, play, pause on his video, play, pause on the IGN video, play, pause on his video. He went back and forth, and it started out like, okay, yeah, it's definitely similar. It seems like he's watched your video, but like, I wouldn't.
It starts off like every review, like, what is this type of game? How does it play? And, like, who's it for, sort of thing.
Right. And then about the halfway point, it's just like he wasn't even trying anymore to hide that he was just copying the video. So obviously this started a big thing. IGN took down the video. They apologized, all this stuff. They ended up firing Philip, who was actually the head of their Nintendo branch at the time. So they're going to have some reshufflings. IGN's super bummed about it because it hurts the whole company, for this one thing, though. This one guy did, and that does suck. But anyway, that happened. They re-reviewed Dead Cells. They actually gave it 2 points less in their new review. The new review is actually really good too. I was talking about it. I think that Dead Cell review is their best review that they've done, because it wasn't spoilery. It was right to the point. It made sense. It was concise. I really, really enjoyed it. And then I find out that some YouTuber actually did that review, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes way more sense, because it didn't even feel like an IGN review.
Yeah.
But that being said, the new review is really good. They parted ways with him. He's probably just blacklisted from any kind. I don't know who would want him now.
Yeah.
With that said, last night, I believe, he put out a follow-up video.
Response, I guess.
And he's telling his side of the story. And basically, it was really weird. He was, explaining how he watches reviews in order to write his review, which don't do that.
No.
That's a bad idea, because it gives you ideas, basically. And I know, I guess I shouldn't know, but I've heard a lot of reviewers that specifically don't want to know other people's opinions on the game. They want to write their review all at the same time.
I would understand watching other reviews for other games, just to sort of, especially because the guy's new. I think he moved from YouTube over to IGN.
Yeah.
So I would understand, okay, how did this guy review something like Smash if I'm going to play sort of a action-y fighting type game that's not really like Tekken, or if I'm going to play a JRPG, how did this one guy review Octopath? Just so I sort of know the structure.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the exact same game, because you're presenting this as, I played this, and these are my thoughts. So the second you step into someone else's world,
somebody else's thoughts and change your mind.
The second you step into someone else's world, and even too, when you're playing RPGs, it sucks to be that guy that's like, "Hey man, did you go over to this town and do the thing?" And you're like, "No." Why would I do that? Because maybe you haven't hit that point, or you didn't think about it, or something. So it sucks. Basically, to look at other people's ideas and then formulate your own. That's sort of like the Fox News approach, I guess, where it's just let me see what other people think before I think. So it's weird. It doesn't hurt to look at them after, for sure, just to be like, did I miss something? Or did the thing I say I didn't understand, did it resonate with someone else and they got it? Or vice versa. So it's cool to look at it that way. But yeah.
I think it's fine to do it in general,
yeah.
But when you're a reviewer, I think is where it's a problem. When you're the one that's supposed to be presenting your opinion, and people go to you for your opinion, when you're regurgitating other people's opinions, that's where it's a problem.
Yeah.
When you're doing that, but yeah, I don't know if you got the game early. And this game is a little weird of a case because it was on like some early access thing.
Yeah,
but if you
Steam.
got the game early and everybody else got the game early that's reviewing it, like I don't know why you would want to know what they think before the actual embargo date. I think that's very strange. Anyway, it was very obviously plagiarism. He put out his follow-up video, and he said it was so strange. He never said that he plagiarized. He said that he watched all these other videos and it kind of influenced him and it was an accident. And then he said he takes full responsibility for it, but then he said that he didn't do it. And then he very heavily was like, stop attacking IGN, stop attacking my family, blah, blah, blah. I imagine it's hard for him. He probably did get assaulted by thousands of people.
Yeah. And not just him, like I'm sure, obviously he said don't, flame IGN for this, but I saw a little bit in my Twitter feed. I didn't like try to follow it. There's a lot of other stuff going on at the time, and I wasn't checking it as much. But I know a lot of other IGN people had to do the, hey guys, this was an isolated incident. We don't all do this. IGN reviews are sort of a meme in themselves, just because of like donkey videos and whatever else that have happened from years past, where people just don't think that that's
too much water.
The hallmark of video game reviewing. So,
Call of Duty 9.5 out of 10. Yeah.
So this is where, throwing that into the conversation obviously brings up all the skeletons that are in the closet already. So
yeah, it just lets you pile on.
Yeah.
But anyway, he did this like weird explanation. He never apologized. He never admitted to it. Like those were kind of the two big things. And he kind of he alluded to why it happened, but didn't explain how or, own up to it in any way, shape, or form.
It was weird. Yeah, it was just like when you get done with the video, not only does it feel like you just watched a 50-minute video.
Yeah, it's like 5.5 minutes, and it feels like, it might just be because he is clearly distressed and uncomfortable, but and that makes you uncomfortable, which makes time feel slower, but it feels like a 15-minute video.
But you go all the way through it, and then you're just like, what happened? He said some things. He didn't say I'm sorry. It was just really weird. It was like, what was the purpose of that? And then a lot of people attacked him even more because it was like a cash grab because he monetized the video.
Yeah, which I don't really have I personally don't
I understand.
have a problem with.
If you don't have a job, you need to monetize something. But
he just got fired.
But so it's just like that video didn't stem the tide. And it didn't divide people to where now people are on his side, and then there's the people that are still just angry.
Yeah, he could have.
It just made everyone more angry.
Yeah, he had two good options, which is one, come out, be like, I'm sorry, I messed up. This was my fault. I apologize to Boomstick Gaming. I apologize to IGN. I'll never do this again. I hadn't done it before. I did it because I was stressed. I had this project, this project, this project, this project, and I did it. It was a lapse of judgment. I'm sorry. He could have come out and done that, or he could have come out and been like, hey, I didn't plagiarize it. This is what actually happened, blah, 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 blah. But he didn't do that. He came out and did a weird in-between. Yeah. It was just very strange.
I think some other FIFA 18 stuff kind of crept up too, so people are just kind of digging.
I listened to that. He confronted Jason Schreier kind of head on about looking into his reviews and saying that some of the other stuff could have been plagiarized, and he's like, I dare you to find stuff. And then Jason went and posted some stuff on Twitter about it. I think that those things are way more they're similar, but I don't really think he's
to be fair, I don't.
This review is clearly plagiarized.
To be fair, I don't know how many differing opinions there are on sports games. It's just this one's fun. I don't like sports. That's about it.
I didn't put this in the news, but we can go over it really quick. Did you see the Madden stuff about the Chargers?
No.
So when you play as the Chargers, the VO from the announcement people still say San Francisco.
Nice.
Yeah. Or San Diego, sorry. Yeah. They still say San Diego. So good job, Madden.
Yeah. No one's surprised there. But yeah, it was just a weird, I'm sure it's not the first or last time it's ever happened in the industry, but yeah, the thing that rubbed me wrong was just the video that he did after.
Yeah, it was weird.
Just nothing came of that. Like I said, you can either get some people on your side, hey, empathize with me. There was a lot of stuff going on. Maybe I had some personal stuff on top of that, and it just I hit the easy button and just did it from there. I suck. I'll move on. I won't do this again. Or just, spin some tale of how you didn't do it, even though you did. But, like, at least you could get people on your side either way, or just stem it. Like, just be like, hey, you won't ever hear from me again. I'm going to be a pizza guy. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I would personally like him to make another video. The thing is, now he's got us, right? He's going to make another video where it's going to be news. Yeah. So, like, he's got us for one more monetization video cycle at least. Maybe the next one will be better, we'll say. But anyway, yeah, they did. I will say IGN completely did the right thing here. They took down the review. They put up a new review, even though they don't review PSVR games, but they'll review another game twice. They took down the review. They fired him, which I think is the right call because you can't, like, if you keep him, you're never going to hear the end of that. Mm-hmm. And now we'll see what they do with their restructuring and rehiring because they clearly need somebody to host Nintendo.
Yeah, he was pretty important for their Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, he was their host of their podcast, so that's a pretty big deal. Next,
so now all we got to do is catch you plagiarizing something. We can cut you out of here.
I think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Next up, the Smash Direct.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the final news story, and we'll just kind of go over the stuff that they announced real quick, stuff that we cared about. They did a Smash Direct. It was, I don't know if it was necessary, especially because they alluded to that there's more stuff coming, and I'm like, why don't you just do like a huge Direct and get it over with? But anyway, we got a Smash Direct. Started out with probably the most important news of it all. Luigi is now dead. Luigi has officially died.
Yep.
I will say the funniest thing I saw out of this, first off, the official Nintendo UK account tweeted Luigi is okay. Like, that's how out of hand this got.
Well, didn't Ridley
killed Mario and Mega Man? Yes. And then King DDD got destroyed at the end of this conference. Mm-hmm. But, like, Luigi got killed by death. It was really brutal and really bad. And my favorite meme that came out of it was, I don't actually know what the meme's from, but it's the guy who's standing there and he, like, shoots the gun backwards at the person on the couch. And then
Eric Andre?
I guess. And then he makes an excuse for why it happened. And it was him when he shoots him, and it said Luigi getting shot. And he goes, Luigi's okay. But anyway, so he died in the Castlevania castle. Mm-hmm. So Simon Belmont, Richter Belmont jumping in, joining the fight. Unfortunately, I was actually recording this Direct, and it screwed up like 5 minutes in and totally ruined the video, and I just shut it off and watched the Direct myself. At the beginning of my recording, I was like, I bet we get Simon Belmont. It just feels right. Snake's back. They have to be in talks with Konami. Like, Bomberman's in it, which is also owned by...
Konami does love money.
Yeah, which is also owned by Konami. I'm like, we gotta get Castlevania. And then it opened, it was Castlevania, and the video screwed up. And I'm like, damn it.
Well, yeah, Castlevania is still on the
I
high,
had a
too,
moment where I looked smart. Because it's just gone now.
They just announced the season 2 of their anime. So, yeah, Castlevania is kind of back, I guess. So.
Sure. I would love a new game. But anyway, aesthetically, I think he looks great. Smash is so good at integrating their character designs together. The levels look great. The fact that all the bosses are in it is really, really cool. The stage is amazing. There's like 34 pieces of Castlevania music, which is awesome. Music. I'm totally down. I love Castlevania music. So that happened. Sticking on new characters. We got some new Echo Fighters. Dark Samus showed up. Looks cool.
Yeah, cool.
I like the floaty nature that it has. On top of that, we also got Chrom.
Yeah.
Correct? From Fire Emblem Awakening?
Yeah.
Look at me go. We got him. I sighed so hard when he was announced. I was like everybody else, I was joking, hey, I bet it's a Fire Emblem, and then it is a Fire Emblem.
I don't know why everyone hates Fire Emblem.
There's like 11 Fire Emblem characters.
There's 7.
Sure, that's still more than anything else besides maybe Mario.
That is 1/10 of the game.
That's a lot. There's so many characters in the game. I mean, you could argue there's that many Mario characters, but like I feel like the Mario characters still have, like, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong I would put in a separate camp.
I will say
and Luigi.
I feel, and this is I guess heavily Fire Emblem bias, I feel like Echo Fighters makes it more digestible in the fact that you're not seeing a character selection screen and here's just the Fire Emblem row.
There's going to be.
But
all right, who do we have? Marth Roy, Lucina, Ike, Chrom.
Yep. Robin.
Corrin.
Robin and Corrin.
Robin, male Corrin, female Robin. Sure. Is that it?
It's just 7. Yeah.
It's a lot of characters.
Also, to go with your Simon announcement, Richter Belmont is also Echo.
He's the Echo.
Mm-hmm.
And then was that it for the Echoes? I think that was it. Just those two.
Yes.
And then we got King K. Rool showing up at the end with a little tease, and then I was hoping it wasn't King K. Rool after they did the tease.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe they will do. And then he popped out, and I was like, I don't understand the point of that.
It feels like they're just knocking out a lot of the long time requests that people have had with him and.
Looks dumb to me. I don't like him.
You don't like him?
No. I don't like him at all.
It looks a little weird. I didn't like
he would definitely be in my bottom 3 characters.
I didn't care about his moveset, the little glimpse that we got of it.
Yeah. The pirate one was okay. Everything else I was like, I don't really care.
I'm glad he's in, though. I'm glad they're taking care of a lot of these.
Sure. I'm glad that we're getting villains because they redid Ganondorf. We got him. Ridley's here. It seems like they're adding the villain to the heroes. I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Eggman showed up from Sonic. I very much think that if we do get 2 more new characters, which I think is possible, that they're both villains.
Yeah.
Still a little bit confused about where Springman and Ribbon Girl are, but I guess we'll have to.
That seemed. I mean, I know we did the predictions a long time ago. That seemed like a gimme.
Yeah.
It sure did, because people. Not in the fact that it sold like 10 million copies, but people generally like the characters, basically all the Switch characters they've come, like even the new Inklings and stuff like that. Like everyone's kind of been big on
the Octolings.
Big on all the new franchises or continuing franchises that are still kind of going right now. So
but where were we? What were we doing?
Well, also with all the new characters, they have morph stages now, so you can the stages can change in between.
Sure, we'll do that. That's it for the characters, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So next levels, all the levels are back.
Mm-hmm.
Omega and the Battlefield variants, as well as just the other ones. There's a couple ones I think that didn't make the cut, but they were mostly levels that have quick transitions, and it was pointed out on another show I was listening to that it's probably because the just character design changed, and characters like Little Mac struggle to do that stuff. They're not designed to jump. So a lot of the auto scrolling levels are gone. Auto scrolling levels suck, so that's totally fine with me. Next up, the music. There's about 900 tracks. There's 28 or something like that hours of music played all the way through, and you can put your Switch into like a music player mode, which blacks out the screen, and you can listen to the music. I don't think I would ever do that, but okay.
I'd like them to release like a CD. Basically, it has all, because obviously video game music wouldn't take up that much space, I guess, because a lot of these are just like the same 2 minutes on loop. So a lot of these, it shouldn't take up too much space, but I would like a whole catalog or like a version, collector's edition, whatever, that has like, here's these 4 CDs and it has all 28 hours on it. So
And then the big one for me is the modes. They've added a bunch of modes to the game. Tournament mode's back, which is awesome because that one's really fun in party setting. They added another one, which is really cool in party setting, which is this mode where all the characters are available. And then everybody picks, one character, and then you go to a round 2, and those characters are off limits. And you kind of draft the characters until there's no more. And then it's like whoever won the most wins. I think that's a really cool... We'll definitely be playing that as like a party game mode for Sherzies. One that they kind of snuck in there, and I was surprised they didn't talk more about it, is 8-player Smash is back, and all the levels are available for it. So last time there was only like 7 or 8. I shouldn't. There was a couple levels to it. I don't know the exact number. And they were the bigger levels, basically. And now they said that all levels are going to be playable in 8-player Smash, which is awesome. I think 8-player Smash is super fun.
Well, it sucks to have like 5 people at the house at the whatever for Smash, and then it's just like I guess loser
swaps out. Whoever
swaps
dies
out.
first swaps
so
out.
When you have like the 5, 6, 7, 8 number, like it's nice to have that big mode where you can just
it's
put on
nice
5
to
and
be
3
able to have
AI
5
or something like that. So
and then my favorite announcement from this was the stage swapping. You can pick 2 stages. You can set it to random. They are giving you a lot of options here, which is really nice. And the stage swap works in you pick 2, or you have them both set to random. And in the middle of the stage, it'll just like kind of weird change will go through, and you'll be in the other stage. So you're fighting at this other stage. It reminded me a lot of PlayStation All-Stars. That's what they did. They always put two franchises and like had the stage start as one, and the other one would have invade and change the landscape of the stage. I was like, oh, cool. They kind of took All-Stars idea. Then they announced this mode where you have a super meter instead of percentages and stuff.
Smash ball. Yep.
And so the way that it works is your smash ball is like weaker, but you build up this meter, and when it's maxed out, you can do like a weak smash attack and try to knock people off. And I'm like, that is perfect. Like they figured out a really good way to do the All-Stars formula. They did it. They figured it out. I'm so excited to play that mode. That's the mode I want to play the most. Really, really awesome. They also have a couple quality of life things, like you can save your kind of presets down so that if you like playing 5 stock, no items, only smash balls, you can just save that and hop right into it instead of having to
that helps
do
so
it.
much because
there's so many times where you get into the game and you're playing and like a minute in, an item spawns or something, and you're like, why is there items in the... Oh, God, why is there Pokeballs? What is this?
It's not cumbersome in a time sort of manner. It's not like it takes 30 seconds to load back to the menu or anything. It's just there's so many sub-menus in these games, and then like here's main menu. Okay, we select just a regular brawl or whatever. There's another menu. Okay, go to character select. There's another menu.
Yeah.
Okay, there's options. There's another... Like, you just have to go through so many hoops, so it's nice to save your game and just be like, oh, okay, this is the hardcore people. We want to put on tournament mode, or this is the people who don't play video games much, so we'll just put it on this.
Items on high.
Yeah.
On top of that, they went through and revealed some new like Pokemon that are in the Pokeballs. There was nothing that really stood out to me
trophies
from
and all that,
except for Abra. Abra seemed really cool. He flies around and just teleports people. I think that could be fun. The assist trophies were huge.
Yeah.
So in the assist trophies, they had Knuckles show up. Zero from Mega Man X, which I thought was really strange because Mega Man X is not in this game. Mega Man's in this game.
Yeah.
So that's a little weird. They also had Zero's music play when he showed up, so there's Mega Man X music in this game, and I'm like, that's suspicious. They also had Monster Hunter level and character in the assist trophy.
What is he? He's an assist trophy,
but he's also a
background
boss of that level.
Yeah.
So
that's the first time they've had a character do that.
That's that, and it's Monster Hunter, which is just strange.
Yeah.
And then the biggest one to me, and I think is actually the biggest announcement, is that Shovel Knight's in the game.
Yeah.
That is the first time we've really seen a collaboration with a like studio outside of Japan. They did technically work with Ubisoft because there's a Rabbids stuff in the Wii U one or whatever, but it is the first like major collaboration we've seen, and I think that opens the door for so many things.
Maybe.
So that's exciting. I wouldn't be surprised if Shantae is an assist trophy. I wouldn't be surprised if like that group seems to kind of move together in. I guess
gotta stick together, man.
Guest characters as games. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if like there's a Blaster Master thing.
Here comes Guacamelee.
Sure. I could see Juan showing up as that. And then I also have this weird suspicion that all of those assist trophies are secretly being turned into real characters as well.
A lot of them look really detailed.
They have a lot of movesets.
Yeah.
And they have like almost full movesets, and I kind of have this suspicion that they're working on them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they are. If Zero becomes a playable character, Shovel Knight becomes Bomberman. And oh my god.
Just like the past couple of Smash games, this one is not done when it releases.
Sure.
This is going to drag on for years, probably 2 years after this game gets released, and hopefully they don't make broken characters as DLC again.
Jesus, just ban the character. Besides, it reminds me of Cat in All-Stars. Cat was out in All-Stars for like 3 weeks, and they're like, let's ban this character because she can go from 0 to a kill from any move. Like, that seems bad.
Yeah.
And they just straight banned her. And Bayonetta is very similar to Cat. I'm like, I don't understand. Anyway, so they announced all that, and then kind of as just another, in the passing announcement, they were like, we have, I believe they said 4 other Echo characters at least to announce and talk about. So we're going to go to our question, which is going to be, what Echo character do you think, or maybe do you want, to show up in the Smash game here? And I just have a couple in my mind that I can throw out, but we can say our pieces.
I had to list them because, like like I said,
there's a lot of characters
off
in this
camera. Like it's getting to the point where there's so many characters that you kind of have to remind yourself of who all's in it right now. Because when you start hitting the 50, 60, 70 mark, you're just like, is everyone in this game? Like
it's starting
every
to
Japanese
feel like
franchise.
The only one I'm really mad about is Bomberman. That he's not like a main character. It makes so much sense for him to be a main character. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and start, and I'll say Shadow. Shadow the Hedgehog coming in as a Sonic clone. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that they have a similar moveset. I think him and Knuckles don't have a similar moveset, so him being the assist trophy also makes sense. Alucard being an
no
assist
Tails
trophy.
love?
Tails wouldn't be a clone, though. He would be a new character,
sure.
I think. And I think Eggman's more likely than Tails at this point. But I think that Shadow is a clone of Sonic, and they like doing these dark variants. You know, Dark Pit, Dark Samus.
Like an adversarial?
Yeah, I can see, he's basically Dark Sonic. So I'm going to say that Shadow shows up.
My easiest one, and it's going to surprise me if it doesn't happen, is obviously Ken being Ryu's counterpart on that one. That's not so much, it's easier to say like Akuma since you're doing like boss versions.
Sure, I also agree to be Ken, though.
I think it's really, if they do another villain or two, then I would lean more towards Akuma just because they're doing, like you said, the dark variant of it. But obviously Ken Ryu is a kind of a bro competition, but they're at least, fighting against each other. So it kind of makes sense in that regard too.
I definitely agree with that one. That was one that I was thinking of. Next, I'll say Big Boss and Snake. I could totally see them. Yeah. I don't know exactly what they would do to differentiate them. Some of these Echo characters are way more similar to each other than others. Like Dark Pit and Pit don't really have that much of a difference. They have like 3 different moves, So I wouldn't be surprised if he's just like a very lightly tweaked version.
I like how the Fire Emblem characters have been differentiated. Like maybe the heavy or like the sweet spot on this attack is in the middle of it. Maybe it's at the very tip of the weapon, stuff like that. So as long as they make it like that, that's enough for people who put 30 plus hours into this game to enjoy it. But yeah, if we're sticking with Snake, I was thinking at least Metal Gear Solid 2 Raiden.
Wow.
Not like crazy Cyber Ninja Raiden, because that's not very Echo-like, but that would be cool if they did that. Not only because of that, but just going back to, like, I guess the history of Metal Gear and Raiden kind of sneaking in as the person you play the most.
The Echo.
The protagonist of the game, really. So that would be cool if he got snuck in there.
I never would have thought of that, but that is actually a pretty interesting.
It could only be one Raiden, though it couldn't be the whatever.
They don't consider Mewtwo a echo of Lucario, right? Those characters are pretty similar, actually.
Not really. I mean, aesthetically, I guess, sure, but
I mean, they both do like the charge ball, and they're both.
But no, they're individual characters.
What's another one that you have?
Yeah, I can keep going until an idea strikes you. Miss Pac-Man.
That's what I was just going to say. I was thinking that too, but I was like, I don't know what they would do to actually make her...
Put a bow.
any different.
The next one I thought would be cool. It's not a straight copy, but putting Rex from Xenoblade 2 in for Shulk.
I've heard about that. See, I don't know that character well enough to know.
But they both kind of use similar swords in a way. But it would be cool to have him in there because, the game is still somewhat new, not even a year old at this point, and the expansion's coming out, so it's kind of a buzz thing going on.
What about Dixie Kong coming in for Diddy Kong?
That's fair.
I could see that one happening. I don't know. Like, Dixie Kong's kind of got her own thing going on, and Diddy Kong is a very specific character in that, like, his, like, peanut guns are very much Diddy Kong's peanut guns. So I don't know how much of an echo it would be. Yeah. It might feel a little bit too different.
Yeah, that's... For right now, I mean, we've at least gotten like Lucina is obviously not a male. She's so we've gotten aesthetic differences, but they both use swords. So I don't know how far they're going to stretch Echo, whether it's just like 90% the same moves or what. But yeah, I'd be down with that. For Donkey Kong, I'd say Funky Kong. That'd be cool.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that, especially because they just added Funky Kong into Tropical Freeze. The Switch variant of it had Funky Kong. So I could totally see that.
Yeah, he got a big presence in that game.
Now this one's got an asterisk next to it. Has Waluigi been confirmed as an assist trophy in Ultimate?
I think so.
I think so too. But I could totally see him...
We've been hit with a bunch of news on it, though, so it's weird.
I could totally see him being a Luigi skin. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I'm just not confident, and I feel like I'm more confident than I'm not that he has been confirmed as an assist trophy. Because he runs out with the tennis racket. That's what he always does. But I don't know if in this particular version
I
can see that happening.
He would have to be his own character, I think. And it's weird that they're finally doing the Ridley.
But Luigi's dead, so
they're finally doing the Ridley. They're finally doing the K. Rool. So like I guess he's the next one on the
same but evil
ancient list of people that they'll never do. My next one. Kellen actually mentioned it before we, I guess he lived his last
before he got
breath.
Luigi'd.
But for ice climbers, I would say Captain Toad and Toadette.
Wow, that's really good. I'm done.
Because there's not a lot of pairs. Captain Toad, people really.
No, I thought of another one.
People really, really like that, and it's somewhat new, so it's easier to remember.
How about Birdo for Yoshi?
Yeah, I would like that because
I could see that happening.
Because obviously with her, I guess, shape of the mouth or whatever, she's a lot different than Yoshi. But
all you got to do is add a couple different projectiles. She shoots her projectiles from her mouth. Blah, blah, blah.
Instead of,
I could totally see Birdo showing up, especially because they threw like daisies in there now. And stuff. Makes a lot of sense.
Another one I had was Captain Rainbow for Captain Falcon. That would be interesting.
Is he the villain guy? That doesn't sound right. Who's the like?
No.
I know his picture in my head. Who is the villain guy? Is his name Black something?
Yeah, Shadow.
That's his car, I think. I think his car is named Shadow, but isn't his name like Black?
Something like that.
Yeah.
If they would make one every 20 years.
Because I thought of that too, but they made up Captain Falcon's move, so I guess they could do his. I wouldn't be surprised.
Black Shadow.
That is his name?
Yeah.
Look at us go. I wouldn't be surprised if he is.
So I remember now because he looks like Batman, except like a Minotaur version. He's got the big horns.
I could see him being Falcon's clone.
Yeah, that would be more F-Zero love and maybe a new game. That would be kind of sweet. Did I hit all mine?
I don't know, but you blew my mind with Captain Toad.
Hilda as Zelda's counterpart.
Who's Hilda?
You never played?
Is she the Wind Waker?
She's the blonde hair. I think she's in Breath of the Wild, isn't she?
I don't know.
Also,
I have actually no clue who you're talking about.
Someone who is in Breath of the Wild, Impa for sheep.
Yeah, Impa makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm down with Impa. Hilda?
I'll show you Hilda.
Okay, show me that because I feel like I'll know when I see it, but
no, not ringing a bell.
I mean that does.
We'll get there.
I don't know.
That was the last of mine, though.
Okay.
I tried to think outside the box a little bit.
Like I said, that you blew my mind with the Toadette thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's really smart. They don't jump very well. The ice climbers don't jump very well.
Yeah, and
it makes
Toad.
sense.
It's just weird that Toad's never really made it into the game.
It is strange. A lot of people talk about Captain Toad showing up, and I think that that's possible. I think he makes way more sense as an assist trophy. But I don't know. Like, I just don't exactly know what his moveset is and stuff, if he does.
I haven't played the Captain Toad games.
I could totally...
kind of meant to, but...
I could totally see him being an assist trophy where he's, like, changing the rotation of the screen, and it's, like, changing the stage type thing. Yeah. I could see that stuff happening. If he's his own character, I'm not going to complain. I think that's cool. I think that makes sense. I think he deserves it. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some other, like, you might be able to get creative with some, but I don't know. Like, maybe you could do, like, a Boo Kirby thing or something, you know. But or Chin Chomp. I don't know. Chin Chomp Jigglypuff.
Yeah, and then
that one wouldn't work.
There's a lot of the, like, Rob type people where I don't know.
Let's make Pac-Man into Chin Chomp.
And I don't know what you do for, like, Duck Hunt and stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
So.
There's a couple weird ones, but I think we got some. I am confident enough to say that at least 2 of ours are correct.
Yeah, it just depends on how far they want to go. There's still a bunch of months, so probably at least one more direct on it.
We're definitely getting a direct. So something we didn't say is at the end of it, they had a blurred out mode. So there's a whole nother mode that's showing up. I don't want to get into it. Some people unscrambled it and said that it said spirits. So, like, and everybody's dying, and there's, like, this whole conspiracy theory. I don't believe that. I think it's just going to be, like, a single-player thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, we get the single-player mode.
I don't think it's going to be as crazy as Subspace Emissary, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like, a remixed level from each game. So, like, Mario 1 kind of remixed, like, World 1-1, and a Castlevania level
What if they just threw in the single-players from all the other games into it?
You know, I actually thought about what if you did all these challenges and did all this stuff, like you just straight unlocked the ROM for like Ice Climbers, and you unlock the ROM for Mario 1.
That'd be cool.
And, like, I thought about that, but I was like, Nintendo's not that cool.
That's their virtual console.
Yeah, it's Smash Brothers. That was one idea I actually had, but because the only game I can think of that did this was Animal Crossing. And there was actually news on this. I didn't talk about it, I don't think. So Animal Crossing has NESs in it. And you can go and collect an NES and play the old NES games on
I've
the
heard you
GameCube,
talk about it
which
before.
is really, really cool. But recently, and I'm talking about within the last couple months, people have actually found in the files of Animal Crossing that there's an NES, and this is in the game, that doesn't have a game. It's like all of them have like Ice Climbers or Mario or whatever with it. There is a blank NES, and somebody figured out how to load a ROM onto the GameCube memory card and make that NES read the ROM, and it played the game. So, like, that NES was designed as, like, a way to actually emulate the games, which is crazy. Like, years later, somebody figured out the text that needed to be done to do that. But anyway, I just don't see Nintendo being that cool, to be honest. Especially, I don't know. Like, I just don't see that happening. Anyway, let's move into the releases, and then we can get out of here. Though I do want to point out, if you want your question read on the show, answered on the show, go ahead and leave it down below, and we can get to it on a future episode. Moving into the releases, a very week, as I like to say. With releases, we have Death's Gambit coming to PS4, PC, August 14th. We have Phantom Doctrine coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, August 14th. We have The Walking Dead, the final season, Episode 1, coming to PS4, Xbox One, PC, August 14th. I did not realize this was so close. I assume this is the Telltale Walking Dead series.
Yeah,
they've been talking about how Clementine's story is going to be over after this. I didn't realize it was so soon.
Yeah.
Interesting. I played Season 1 and 2.
I played Season 1. Got tired of it
I liked Season 1 quite a lot. Season 2 I thought was, like, fine and had a character I really liked, like a new character that I really liked. The problem is you have to unite everybody's choices in at least some way. So, like, you've got to, like, kill off characters who aren't going to be important later and, like, kind of reset every time. And that's sort of my problem. But they did Final Frontier, I think it was called, maybe, which ended up having Clementine in it, and then there's this one. So that's cool. I like that they're like, this is the definitive ending. That's exciting to me. I'm not gonna get it, but that's interesting to me. Give me Wolf Among Us. Let's be real here. Next up, Todd would be excited. World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth.
Yeah.
Coming August 14th to the PC. I know Todd's been playing more WoW, getting prepared for whatever expansion this is.
Yeah, my Twitter's blowing up with people. I guess there's like a big campaign right now. It's like side with the Horde or side, whatever.
Oh, yeah. I was on Snapchat and it was like, do you want to be a Horde or an Elf? I was like, more than anything, I want this off my phone, to be dead honest. Not a word. Do you ever like World of Warcraft?
Never touched it because I knew it was the type of game where if I dipped my toes in per se, that I would just fall in the pool. Would sink.
I played the play until level 30 demo or whatever it was, And I played, and I was like, why do people like it? Like, I hit the cap thing, and I was like, why do people like this game? And I uninstalled it. I just didn't get it. And I still, to this day, think that it is so archaic and old and doesn't hold up as well. And I just don't understand.
But man, can they make some awesome CG trailers.
I was about to say, I think it's really the lore in the world that's like holds that.
Not so much CG movies, but CG trailers.
Movies, no bueno. And next up, Cosmic Star Heroine coming to the Switch, August 14th. And that's it for the releases. Kind of like we said earlier, August, kind of light, kind of weak.
Catch up on the games you haven't played yet.
Yeah, just going to be playing through Mega Man. I did pick up Gears of War Ultimate Edition. There you go. So maybe I'll play a little bit of that, see how that goes.
It's fun. Game's much better in co-op.
Yeah, I believe that. I've just... The thing is, Gears of War is always like kind of a weird spot for me because I love Unreal, and it's like what they did next, and I just never played it. And I have them.
But they went the opposite end where you're slow and grounded and realistic.
Well, Unreal's slow. The thing is, Unreal's gameplay is fast, but like the characters and stuff are still like slow in that world, especially like the Juggernaut characters and things. They move really slowly. You can dodge missiles and stuff in that game. Like, I don't know. The armor looks exactly the same. The world feels similar. Anyway, Gears of War is a game that I've literally just always had an itching to play, but I've kind of also always been scared that I wouldn't like it when I went in, and I kind of didn't want to face that. I bought the Ultimate Edition, so maybe I'll hop into that because I will have some free time. And Octopath seems like it's just going to be something that I keep in my Switch, hop into whenever I feel like it. The World Ends With You, Mario Party, and Smash, I think, are the only other things coming out for Switch that I'd be getting this year. So,
I'm for sure going to log in probably another 100 hours before the Switch is done for 2018.
Well, you got Xenoblade.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah. But that is it for this episode of the Press X Podcast. Thank you so much for being here, Nick.
Yep.
Thank you for attempting to be here, Kellen.
Rest in peace.
And thank you so much for watching. We will speak with you next time.
Good night, sweet prince.